What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Bubba Speed Career Mode in MotoGP 20. And after a very unfortunate and disappointing end to the Grand Prix of Catalunya, it's time for us to head over to Deutschland, which is, of course, Sachsenring, which is one of my favorite tracks. And this is actually going to be the last one in the series of my pretty much all my favorite tracks in a row, except for, say, Valencia. And that's pretty much all my favorite tracks all in a row, except for Valencia. So it's an end to the tracks where we can definitely expect Bubba to hopefully get a win. These are tracks where the confidence levels of Bubba Speed are very high. After that, we start to get to the tracks where whether they're tracks we don't really prefer, we don't really like that much, or it's just tracks that not really good at. It's going to be interesting to see if Schrotter can get closer to Bubba in the title picture. I think it was last season where we actually had to go to the final race to see if we could win it, and thankfully we were able to. So it'll be interesting to see if something like that happens here with Schrotter. It really does depend on if he can actually get a good result here, and we start to have a bit of a decline. Obviously in Catalunya we had that issue, but overall I would say we've been pretty much extremely solid all season long, and if we can just limit those mistakes to, maybe like one or two more races this season, then we should be fine regardless, because we essentially win or we have a disastrous performance like that. Overall, I would say the performance levels were good. It's just that last lap we made a huge mistake, and it really cost us. I guess you could say that the ghost of Kobe's past decided to fuck us over for talking shit about him, and we paid for it. I guess that's kind of karma coming straight at us, and it happens. It does happen. Mistakes are made, and a lot of times they cost you championships. Sometimes they just cost you a race. Hopefully it'll be the latter in our case, and we'll see how we qualify. We're actually able to qualify on pole. We gained over, wow, holy shit, we were down by 0.7 going into the last sector, and we ended up being 0.4 of a second faster. So had a really good final sector, and that's gonna be interesting in this race, because I will definitely say that the first sector I am very slow compared to some of the other guys on the grid. It's going to be a matter of if we can get a good start, and keep in mind that this is a short straightaway. We're like, even in the best of cases, like, this is a short straightaway, so that maybe does favor us a little bit in terms of the start. And if we can keep ourselves up front to start off the race and try to keep ourselves there, then there's really no reason why we can't defend the lead for the rest of the race. We actually get a decent start too. Only had a small wheelie. Looks like we're going to maintain first position unless somebody dives inside of us, pause, and there you go, we defend first position. Now it's just kind of like a matter of defending to start off this race, because with 8.3 laps of fuel, we're gonna have a heavy bike, and in a track like this, that's gonna be an issue for us, because it really is all about corner speed. And there you go, we make one mistake and we're down to third, and that could be costly. Ooh, almost crashing out our teammate right there. With such a heavy bike, it could definitely be an issue to start off the race. But realistically, as long as we can keep ourselves up here, then we should be fine going into the final sector. Lowe's isn't really a guy I'm too worried about, and even Marini. These are all guys that, yes, they're fast, but they aren't actually competing for the title, so it doesn't really matter if we lose to them anyway. Obviously, we want to win, but as long as we keep ourselves above Schrotter or right behind him, there's really nothing to worry about. As of right now, run a little bit wide, but coming down this hill is where we're going to start seeing ourselves be a lot faster. Going to try to at least put pressure on Lowe's and act like we're going to go inside him on pause. We're going to try to draft him on here. If we can get a good drive coming on the straight, then we're definitely going to be able to maintain first position. We got a little bit too hard on the throttle right there. Definitely lost traction a little bit. That could give him enough of an edge to get past us, but we're going to be hard on the brakes. Braking really late too, so hopefully he won't be running too wide. We actually come out of it pretty much perfectly. He tries to push himself inside, but we're able to keep the line. And one thing I will say about Sachsenring is like that it's so unique as a track, and I've said this a lot of times. Like, it's probably the track I have the most race time on because of my old racing with my cousin on this track. It was his favorite. So cutting it inside. Luckily, no penalty. Risking the crash. Having a huge moment right here. Losing 8, 9, 10 positions, 11, 12, 13, all the way down to 17th, 19th, 20, 21st. Huge mistake that could absolutely ruin our race right now. I mean, we're still close enough to where we can get a win here. Like, that's still in our possibilities, but we have to get moving right now. And I was just saying, like, this is a track where I have so much experience in, so I do know the ins and outs pretty much perfectly, but it's very, very unique, as in, I don't think there's another track on the entire MotoGP calendar that is as technical as this one. It is genuinely all about corner speed. There is nothing else to it. It's not point and shoot. It's not about how fast your bike is. It is genuinely about how good you are around the track, and that's something that I just love about the track. I know that there's even, legends like Rossi. He's been very open about how he doesn't like the track, etc., but I just feel like, this is one of the better tracks out there because it's so unique, and there's just nothing like it. Meanwhile, Bastianini steals the fastest lap of the race from Schrotter, who had it for a second there, and let's see if we can start getting ourselves back up there. About to get back in the top 10, we have Gardner and Bastianini right there. We're having a little bit of a battle right here for 11th itself too, so it's not an easy race right now. We definitely need to start pushing forward, cutting a little bit too close right there, trying to be a little bit too aggressive. I would definitely say it's going to cost us in the long run, because the hard thing about Sachsenring is that, like I said, it's not about speed. It's kind of like the slower you look, the faster you're going, because it really is all about being smooth and being clean and going through the corners the right way and getting on the gas at the right time. It really is a very technical track, and that's not really something that favors me personally, because I am a bit aggressive, and I am a little bit, I don't know, I'm irrational in the way that I go, as in, like, I can have 3 or 4 or 5 laps in a row where I'm perfect, and then I just make, huge mistakes for 2 or 3 laps in a row, and it really does cost me a lot. So it's not really a track that's meant for me, I would say, but I do love it nonetheless. We're up in the 8th position, getting past, obviously having to bump into Thomas Luthi. It's something you just have to kind of do. We lose both positions, though. We're going to get a decent drive coming out of the last corner as we go into lap 4. So we have 4 laps left, obviously 4, 5, 6, 7, so we have 4 laps left to get ourselves up there at the front. I'm interested to see where Schrotter is. I think, based on the bikes, and I made a huge mistake last time thinking he was first, he was like in 7th, so my eyes are mush, but I feel like he's up there in 1st or 2nd. I just feel like that's the case, unless that's him in 3rd. He's definitely top 3, though, there's no doubt about that, just looking at the bikes. So have to try to get up there as fast as we can. Sorry, Fernandez, that happens a lot. Or Bastianini, sorry. Thomas Luthi is in severe danger of being crashed out. That's always the case with Bubba behind him. Will it be the case this time? I really hope not, because I am kind of sick of looking like I have some kind of personal vendetta against Thomas Luthi. I don't bump into him again, but that's just because he's so much slower than me, man. That's just he's not careful. And of course, I guess I'm not careful either, but he's gotta be faster, because he's trash. He's absolute garbage. Navarro, there he is, Schrotter right there, 4th. So I was wrong, unless maybe he got passed. And he's actually Thomas Luthi's teammate too. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that. That's a funny little thing right there, is that Thomas Luthi and his teammate are our 2 main rivals. So it's an interesting thing. Obviously, Thomas Luthi from a human point of view, not a racing point of view, because he's not a threat. But Schrotter definitely only from a racing point of view, as we actually have the fastest lap of the race by over a second. So hell of a lap right there. That's why we gained so many positions. We're now in 3rd position behind Marini and Lowe's. Just have to keep it clean and do our thing. If we can stay quick and relatively close in the first couple sectors, then we can definitely get up there with them in the final 2 sectors, where we're a lot faster than everybody else. Right now, it's like the biggest thing, and my biggest issue is I am very, very heavy on the throttle. Like, a lot of times, if I'm not careful, I do tend to be either all or nothing on the throttle, and that's just not something you can really afford to do in a track like Sachsenring. You can do it and survive, but you're just not going to be as fast as you could be. So that's where the final 2 sectors of the track come in, where they are a lot straighter, and there's a lot more, it's just a lot more of a traditional type of track. Here's a long left hand, and on the right, as we come down the hill, if we get a good drive out of this corner, running a little bit wide, which we kind of always do for some reason, we should have a great opportunity to gain right here. Of course we do. I like to cut it pretty close and then get a hard drive out of it. I don't know why, it just kind of feels like I'm faster if I do it that way. Coming on lows, don't push anything. The temptation to try to pass him immediately is definitely there. That's something that I've been trying to work on, is being able to more intelligently decide when to try to make a pass, because a lot of times there'll be a little bit I don't know, he'll just be a little bit too far away to where it feels like I can make the pass, but once I try it, I realize I'm going to crash myself out, or I'm going to crash him out, or I'm going to go really wide and cost myself somehow. So it really is a matter of just, gauging distance and gauging opportunities better. As I don't know why Lowe's is looking backwards right there. It's pretty strange. Maybe he's terrified for his life or something. Don't know. Definitely making a big mistake right there. This is one of those corners where if you get it wrong, there's a good chance you're going to get past. And of course, the pass attempt was made by Marini, but we're able to keep ourselves ahead of him. And now we have to get on Lowe's, right? This is where we have to do it. We're 0.6 behind. Watch how fast we gain on him. Actually running really wide there, so lost a lot of ground. That was a good opportunity. But I feel like we could probably still get him before the end of this lap. Coming out of this one very, very nicely. Plenty of speed. Going a bit wider this time to see if we can come out of this one closer. We're able to, but we definitely lost some ground. We lost over a tenth. And this is where we're going to gain on him right now. Oh, pushing it a little bit too close. Don't want to bump into him. We want a nice clean pass to take first position. We don't want any doubts on anybody's minds about whether or not we deserve this win if we actually do get it. And of course we pass him nicely around the outside, getting a good solid drive too up the hill. It's important to not wheelie too much over there. Luckily this time we were able to keep the front end pretty much on the track, and now it's just a matter of being defensive and racing intelligently. This is a track where if you do things correctly, it is very, very difficult for your opponent to pass you if you're playing defensively. If you're racing offensively, obviously, you can, or if you're being kind of aggressive and trying to pull away, then there are plenty of places where you can make mistakes and get past. But if you're racing defensively, then there's really no reason why you shouldn't be able to defend your lead here. And the important thing for me right now is to avoid penalties, making a mistake going around that left corner, giving him an opportunity, and there you go, Sam Lowe's. We kind of pulled an Espargaro right there. I'm not gonna lie to you, like he had the inside line, so that is, I think, technically our fault. And I would like you guys to let me know in the comments if you believe that was Bubba's fault or Lowe's. I'm gonna go ahead and take the blame for it. But I guess at the end of the day, that is racing, and if we win because of it, I'm not gonna be feeling bad about it, because that puts us in a great position to extend our lead. He's probably third, I would say, Schrotter, after that crash. So we're gonna gain at least 5 points, maybe even more if he is actually in third. He actually just got passed for fifth, so this is a good chance for us to extend our lead by quite a bit too. Schrotter gets passed by Luthi, his teammate. That's huge. If Luthi finishes above him, that's not just embarrassing for him, but also devastating as we actually get the win. A good win there. Disappointing that Lowe's ended up doing that, but it is what it is, and Schrotter does indeed finish 6th. Almost was caught by Bastianini too, which would have been huge for us. Dalla Porta 3rd, Marini 2nd. And our lead is up to 58 points over Luca Marini. So Schrotter has now dropped to 3rd. Obviously they're tied in points, but that's really interesting to see, man. Really, really interesting. I did not expect that to happen. I thought Schrotter and I were going to run away with it, and it was going to be a one-on-one battle towards the end. But right now, Luca Marini, he's looking solid. So it's looking like it's going to be an interesting second half of the campaign. Because like I said, now we've kind of gotten past the tracks that Bubba's good at, and we're going to start heading to the tracks where there's definitely going to be some opportunities for some of the other guys to win some races. And it really will depend. I say if we can do a good job in Aragon, where we have won before, even though I really hate the track, if we can do good in Thailand, and if we can do well in Phillip Island, I think we're still going to be able to win this championship. But Brno's going to be difficult. Austria's going to be very difficult. Those are tracks that I'm really worried about. And we have offers from the factory KTM team in MotoGP. We also have an offer from Aprilia Racing Team Gresini. KTM is offering way more money. It's a solid deal. And I think we don't want to risk having to sign for a smaller team, and we don't want to risk. We don't really want to risk not having a contract signed by the end of the transfer window. Obviously, there's still 13 weeks, so these are interesting offers. I do prefer KTM just because I feel like the team in general has more of an opportunity. But we're gonna wait a little bit longer and see what we can find. Just trying to take a look at the offers of the teams that are interested. KTM, Tech 3, so those are all non-factory teams. Aprilia, obviously they want us. They've already offered us a contract. Same thing with KTM, which is weird considering it says that they're not interested. Petronas very low. That's one team that could definitely kind of steal us away from, say, KTM, because I do like them as a team and I would be interested in being on a Yamaha, even though I would prefer to be on a factory team to start off our career in MotoGP. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. I definitely think like the commentary was better this time around, and we'll definitely start to get better as we start to get back back in the swing of things. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified every time a video comes out. And of course, let me know in the comments what you think of the performance, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching.